You think overthinking just makes you tired. You think it's harmless, just thoughts in your head. But I'm telling you the truth now. Overthinking pierces your spirit. It steals the throne from your heart emperor. It dims the light that guides your whole body. Ask yourself, why is it that the more you think, the less you feel? And the less you feel, the more lost you become. Write your answers in the comments. That might be your first step toward remembering who you are. You ever lie in bed at night and your chest feels tight, but you can't explain why? Your eyes are wide open, but your heart feels far away, like it packed a bag and left quietly while your thoughts kept spinning. You're not even thinking anything useful. You're just looping, again and again and again. You check your phone. You scroll. You replay that one conversation from 3 years ago. You plan tomorrow's to-do list like it'll finally give you peace. But the peace never comes. Only more tension. Only more noise. And in that moment, you are nowhere near your body. Your breath is shallow. Your spirit is scattered. And your heart is tired. In Chinese medicine, your heart isn't just a pump. It's your emperor, the ruler of your whole kingdom, the one who holds the throne of your spirit. But the emperor can't rule when the court is too noisy, when the ministers your thoughts won't stop chattering, planning, worrying. The heart likes stillness. It needs silence to hear the whisper of your soul. But when your mind keeps talking, your heart gets drowned. I had a patient once, a young woman. She couldn't sleep. Chest flutters, brain fog, felt like she was out of her body. She tried magnesium, tried melatonin, even tried Reiki. Nothing helped. I looked at her pulse and said, "You're not tired. You're scattered. Your emperor has left the throne." She blinked, then cried. She knew exactly what I meant. She told me she hadn't felt present in years, always floating, like her body was in the room, but her soul stood by the door. She couldn't stop thinking about work, about food, about how people saw her, about everything and nothing. I said to her, when the mind thinks too much, the spirit can't rest. The heart can't hold it. So the Shen, your spirit drifts away. You know that feeling, don't you? Like you're alive, but not really here. Like your chest is hollow. Your joy is missing. Your light is hiding behind a veil. That's not depression. That's disconnection. That's the emperor dethroned by the mind's obsession. So I asked her to stop trying to sleep, to stop trying to control her thoughts, and instead, to sit, to breathe, to place her hand on her chest and say, "Come back." Your spirit doesn't come back because you try harder. It comes back when you stop chasing and start softening. So I told her, light a candle, put both hands on your chest, feel the warmth, feel the rhythm, and whisper, "I'm here now. You're safe. You can return." At first she felt nothing, just silence. But within days her breath got deeper. Her hands stopped shaking. Her eyes softened, not because her thoughts went away, but because her heart finally had enough space to shine again. That's what people forget. It's not the thoughts that are the problem. It's the constant grasping, the doing, the fixing, the fear that if you stop thinking you'll fall apart. But it's the stillness that brings the emperor home. And when the emperor returns, your whole kingdom starts to heal. In 5-element theory, your spleen is earth, your heart is fire. And what happens when earth gets too heavy? It smothers the fire. That's what overthinking does. It weighs you down. It clogs the center. It buries the flame. So the heart can't shine. The Shen can't rise. You feel sleepy, but wired, numb, but anxious, tired, but restless. You eat clean, but your stomach's off. You sleep 8 hours, but still wake up foggy. Why? Because your earth is overworked and your fire is choking in the smoke. The ancients didn't call it anxiety. They called it heart spirit losing its residence. And you know what happens when a spirit has no home? It wanders, it floats, it flickers out like a candle in a storm. That's why the first step to healing is not doing more. It's softening the mind so the fire can rise again, and the emperor can sit back on his golden throne. You ever look in the mirror and your eyes look empty? Not sad, just gone, like your light pulled back a few inches behind your face. Or maybe you speak, but people don't really hear you, because there's no weight in your voice, no gravity. You forget simple things. Can't finish one task before jumping to the next. Your chest feels tight, but the doctors say your heart is fine, and you're left wondering, is it all in your head? No, it's not in your head. It's in your shen. When your shen doesn't feel safe, it doesn't stay in your chest. It retreats, it floats, and it takes your clarity with it. Your joy, your spark, your sense of presence. That's not weakness. That's your heart asking for stillness before it burns out completely. I had a patient, Helena, 32, smart, driven. She looked fine on the outside, but inside, she was unraveling. She couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, heart always racing, mind like a hamster wheel spinning at 3 a.m. She tried everything, journaling, essential oils, meditation apps. She told me, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't turn it off." I took her pulse, looked in her eyes, and said, "It's not your body that's tired. It's your heart that's homeless." She blinked. Then her hands started shaking. She said, "No one's ever said that. But it feels true." I told her, "Stop trying to fix your thoughts. They're not broken. They're just loud because your heart is whispering and you stopped listening." So we didn't start with herbs. We didn't start with breath work. We started with presence. Every morning before checking her phone, she placed her hand on her chest, closed her eyes, and said, "I'm safe. I'm allowed to feel. I'm here." At first it felt awkward, pointless even. But then something shifted. She stopped waking up in panic. Her breath got deeper. The circles under her eyes faded. Her voice got warmer, like something came home, and was finally sitting down in the center of her being. You ever wonder who's doing all that thinking? You say, "I can't stop my mind." But what if it's not your mind? What if it's your soul knocking from the outside because it forgot the way back in? See, when the shen leaves, the heart thinking takes its place. But thinking without shen is just noise. It doesn't guide. It doesn't nourish. It just spins. So you go through your day feeling off, feeling lost, trying to solve problems that don't even belong to you. You scroll, you overanalyze, you micromanage every choice. But deep down you don't feel like yourself. That's not because you're broken. That's because your spirit has been circling the city walls looking for the gate that only opens when you become quiet enough to feel it. Here's what no one tells you. Thinking too much drains your blood, not the red liquid in your veins, but the heart blood, the sacred fluid that holds your spirit and roots your presence. In Chinese medicine we say the heart governs the blood and houses the shen. So when you overthink, your mind stirs, your spirit floats, and your blood can't hold either. That's why you get dizzy, why your hands feel numb, why you forget words mid-sentence, why your face loses color like someone turned down your contrast. It's not just fatigue, it's depletion. Not just mental, energetic, spiritual. You keep trying to eat more, sleep more, work out more, but nothing lands because your blood is thin and your shen has nowhere to live. The house is built, but the light is off. You keep trying to fix the tired with red dates, goji berries, vitamin B, even ginseng. But here's the truth. You don't build heart blood by adding more stuff. You build it by calling your spirit home. Your shen is the spark, your blood is the oil. Without the spark, nothing flows. Without the oil, nothing holds. So real nourishment starts here, with you remembering how to feel again. When you cry and let it move, you nourish your blood. When you sit in silence, without checking out, you thicken your roots. It's not about intensity. It's about sincerity. The body knows the difference between performance and presence. And only presence brings the emperor back to his throne so the whole kingdom can breathe again. Your spirit wants to come back, but you won't let it. Not on purpose, but because your life is too loud. You wake up to screens. You scroll before you breathe. You plan every hour before asking how your heart feels. You chase productivity like it's salvation. You measure your worth in check boxes. You fear stillness because in stillness the truth speaks. But shen doesn't come to chaos. It doesn't land in noise. It needs space. It needs warmth. It needs you. You say you want peace, but you keep living like a soldier on alert all day, every day. Your spirit is like a bird that wants to land in your chest, but every time it gets close, you blast it with notifications, control, pressure, shoulds, and so it flies off again. Not because it's shy, but because you haven't made your body a safe place to land. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you were truly with yourself? Not performing, not fixing, not escaping. Just sitting, feeling, listening. Do you even remember what your own voice sounds like when it's not wrapped in stress? You say you're tired, but maybe you're not tired. Maybe you're displaced. Maybe your Shen has been knocking and you've been too busy to open the door. You keep trying to go forward, but your spirit is standing 10 steps behind you, waiting for you to turn around. You think you need more energy, but what you need is to come back, not to who you were, but to who you are when your mind is soft, your chest is open, and your spirit sits quietly on the throne of your heart. You want to know how to bring your Shen back. It's simpler than you think, but not always easy. You sit down, put your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and say the thing you've been afraid to say, not out loud to the world, just to yourself. Maybe it's, I'm not okay. Maybe it's, I miss who I used to be. Maybe it's just, I don't know how to come home. And then, you wait. You breathe, not from your throat, not from your shoulders, but all the way down to where your spirit lives. You don't fix, you don't explain, you don't analyze, you just feel. And if something stirs, a terror tremble a sigh. That's your emperor walking back into the palace. You've heard a lot today about overthinking, about Shen, about how your spirit can leave the palace even when your body stays. But don't let it overwhelm you, because returning is not a grand event. It's a quiet practice. So here's something you can try. Every night before bed, sit for just 2 minutes. No music, no affirmations, no pressure. Just your breath and your heart. Ask yourself one question. Am I here? Not am I productive, not am I doing well, just am I here? If the answer is no, no judgment, just breath, just presence. And if a part of you stirs like it wants to come closer, let it. That's the beginning, not of healing, but of reunion. Aging is not a wrinkle on your skin. It's a wrinkle in your spirit. It's what happens when your Shen wanders too far for too long and forgets how to come home. You don't fade because of time. You fade because you left yourself in places you never returned to. In rooms where you stayed silent, in jobs where you shrank, in loves where you betrayed your own truth. But it's not too late. The palace is still here. Your heart is still warm, and the throne is still waiting for the emperor to return. So before we part ways, let me leave you with this. What part of you has been waiting for your return? What feeling have you been holding back because the world moves too fast to feel it? What truth has been whispering in your chest every night as you fall asleep? And if your spirit came home today fully, without fear, without shame, what would change? You don't have to answer now. Just promise yourself you'll stop pretending you don't hear it. Because once you listen, really listen, the heart will open and the emperor will rise. You don't need to rush. You don't need to figure it all out. Your Shen knows the way. It always has. All it's been waiting for is your presence. So take one breath. One real breath, right now. Not to fix, not to heal, just to arrive. You don't have to be perfect to come home. You just have to stop running away. The palace is open. The seat is warm. The light is still inside you. Come back. Come sit. Your heart remembers. And so do you.